you promised, or why did you go back your word? So that becomes the snare that you're supposed to sort of live with. Now, are you looking for a devil from somewhere? No. Because since you are within this group of spirit, or this group of the domination of such a spirit, why should any devil even come to be able to touch you? The only devil you have is the very God that you have. You had an agreement with him, you sworn, you baptized to be in that. You moved out, you do something else. Then, as long as you are within the baptism, you are under his control. No spirit outside Jehovah, Allah, or Buddhist cannot come and intervene in your life. That's what it is. And people have accepted that, and most have accepted, and they stay within the confines of where they belong. They won't be like me, who has come out. And it's hard to talk sense into people of that nature. It's very hard. Very, very difficult. Because they don't know anything else except what they are into. Nothing all. Or they allow themselves to go for what they are into, and that is, they don't want to allow anything else. Yet they are bound to sort of want to share and spread their ignorance to everybody. They are willing to sort of make themselves be seen as if they are in a righteous state and there's something good happening, and sometimes they can entice you in so many ways and be very friendly in every way. Ignorantly, they don't know, or some are very much aware and they use it for their own benefit. They just do that to harm others in so many ways. But we don't need that. We need the truth. We need to have answers to our life. It doesn't have to be in any denomination, anything like being part of that or being part of this. All you need to do is being able to understand that, is there one true God? Where are my problems coming from? What have I given myself to all my life? What have I committed myself to? I'm experiencing changes because I have drifted from what I committed myself to. So yes, definitely, the body will change to the new things that you are adapting to now. And should that experience mean that there's something sinister going on? Maybe not. But if we really want to stand firm to say what God is, or who God is, if we have to come to that point of realizing that, hey, we are one, or we must know that the spirit that has adopted us are putting us in that opposite side, and the signs are giving it away for us to know that it is a spirit that has adopted us. We have not as at yet comes from the roots, or discover the roots of which we came from. The diverse differences is the spirit that dominates or brought us into being. How we were sneaking into it, I don't know. Maybe we were just put there. Any group has some form of some background. It might not necessarily mean that we are all coming from one end, but we may be coming from a general sense of spirit, but maybe different spirits, produced or brought us into being, or created us, and all of them exercise their domination and they are holding on to. But although the strong sometimes conquer the other and takes over his, and this is where the battle is. And it could be anything, but the problem is that, of which we have accepted, which is not true. It's not the definite answer, and we are forced to see it as a definite answer. And if we see it as a definite answer, as long as we see it that way, then we are bound to have the difficulties that we are having today in life. When we judge as we judge, others will be treated molestedly, badly, whichever way, even though justifying it because of what we have believed. But if we looked at it rightly and perfectly embracing it as we're meant to be, we're not going to be trapped into any situation. Nobody's going to condemn any other unnecessarily. Everybody will have a good, positive way of defending himself or herself. Now, life will be positive, life will be right. Others will not even see the necessity of destroying or sort of strike the other or reject certain views that probably will not matter to anything. That's what I'm saying, that the changes will take place. But what have been instilled into us is an issue we have to really look into and correct. We don't have to look elsewhere. Don't let any brilliant idea of anybody tune you to think that, this is the way. This is what you're supposed to accept. This is what God says. No. God may say it. Prove it. And I say that today, all the denominations, yes, they may have spiritual inspirations. Every human might have all the divine, unseen being that is with them. So be it, it's fine. But it is not of the same. If it's slightly, the ways of the teaching is different from the practice, you must know that it's another form of spirit. So where is the original spirit or the original Allah? I don't know. He has left maybe because you disobey him. If you do not follow the rules of your own father, he leaves you in desolation. And in your state of disobedience, you have that disobedient spirit that your father was advising you of taking over and sitting on the chair, because the chair is now empty, and forever becoming your snare and acting as if he is your father, he is your creator. That is what is happening. That's what I think is happening. That's the only logical reason to all this nonsense. Yeah, that's the only logical reason to all this nonsense. The seat, the Jehovah seat, is being sat on by a lawless spirit, of which encourages what we are now. Now, not because what we are doing now or life is lawless, but in regards to what the teachings of the Jehovah, what we claim to be from Jehovah, has stated or has written in black and white for us to follow. In regard to that, we are lawless. To Jehovah, we are lawless. We are not following his law. In that regard, that's what I'm saying. It might not necessarily mean that we are, as long as the laws of which you have accepted where you come from, you deviate, you are lawless, you are not obedient to that. And since you are not obedient to the law, what happens? The God then leaves you to it. If he wants to do harm, he will do harm. But the worst harm is giving you to what your will is. If you read some of the books in Jehovah's book, in the Christian book, say Jehovah's book here, in the Christian book, there are some references, so there are some references of that nature, which refers to Jehovah's a response to humanity as a result of what they have become, and it gives you a knowledge idea what spirit or what your God will do or what he can do, what he can do in order to preserve the agreement or whatever he and you has got. It's just, this is how it is sometimes. And if we do not come to understand, that this is how the reality of the fact is, or what is realistically going on, we will forever live in the dooms. We only believe that, we have Jehovah on our lives and he's going on with us. And for all we know, when you hit the wall and this spirit now, crashed you or put you through that kind of situation that you're not so comfortable, then you become awakened and say, the devil is troubling me, and you're worried and you are worried and all that. You gave yourself to something. You examine your own life and see whether the problem that you're having, is it coming from Jehovah? Is it coming from the devil? Is it coming from whatever? But the devil or whatever spirit is there also will make everything possible for you to not to recognize that he is the one there, because he knows that you already have been told about evil and that you have issue with evil. If you know that he is evil instead of what he is, or what he's presenting himself to be, you definitely will quit. So there's no way, if the seed has been taken over by another, it was going to be easily revealed or be seen to you. But the signs is all you have. And sometimes it's in Matthew 24. It reveals. It says,